I wanted to do this little update to Lightroom. Lightroom has had a couple really good updates in the last few years, or actually last year. I'm sure a lot of y'all know the masking one, and they recently improved the masking to do a little bit more that really is really pretty helpful with the Lightroom. So what I really want, I'm just going to jump in there real quick. This is going to be quick because honestly, I'm going to tell y'all, this is my third time to try to record this. Um, First time the sound was way off. Second time, completely user error. I stopped recording like halfway through it and because my dogs were barking, and that might happen again today. And I have one in my lap, by the way. Um, so it just hopefully this one will do good. We do have storms coming, so I hope I don't lose internet connection. So the first thing what I want everybody to do is to make sure that you can see down here we have the Adobe Cloud little icon. Um, some people can find it here, and it will have the little icon right there. If you can see my pink mouse um, is right there. So check on it, and all mine say up to date. Um, Let me go to the Lightroom Classic there, and it's up to date too. I recently did, I try to keep mine up to date as much as possible. So check this often, and if you're not up to date, check it. Some people want to wait a week just in case there's some bugs in the update. I wait maybe a few days, but it's up to you. Uh, the bugs are usually noticed within a few days, I think, by them, and usually sometimes you'll have an update just a couple days after an update, and it's usually a bug to fix them. So do watch for that, and keep your software updated because there is a lot of really good updates that come through sometimes. Some are just little minor little tweaks. You may not even notice it, but some, like the recent ones, are pretty major. So uh, we're going to go straight into Lightroom. Uh, as you can see, this is one I already did for the last class. So we'll just go to this next one here. And obviously we want to go into the develop mode. Let me move a little zoom window, which you probably don't see it over here. So you can see I probably did some tweaking just for the proofs earlier to send to the client. But if you are the type that wants to edit your stuff before you send it to the client, I send one edit it before and after so they can kind of see, and then I send the rest as is. So what I like about the new one here is we have the masking here. So if you haven't even tried the update that was a few years ago, this is going to be helpful for you too. It used to just do the subject in the sky. Now it does the background, and it even has a people option in there. We'll do the people option in a second, but we'll do something a little bit more simple here. So you can select the subject. What I used to do with the old version is I would select the subject and then I would invert it. Now we don't have to. Now, obviously, we're not going to want this little skinny lead right here. So I'm going to go right now and go into the healing and show you the improvements they've had on the healing. So now you have content aware remove. You have the same heal and you have the same clone. You know how to do the size, you know how to do the feathering, the opacity, and so forth. Is kind of the same. So I'm going to do the content aware, and I think it does a pretty good job. Obviously, that brush is a little bit too big. I'm trying to remove the lead, and I can't really get too detailed. But see how instead of a brush, it has this now. And I went a little, oh, it's analyzing. Hold on. I should have, it did a really good job if you ask me. So let's get rid of, whoops, wrong. Wrong program. Uh, I did a Control D to do the selection, and it did a really good job actually. I mean, I know this is a easy background right here. It's pretty clear, but it's still I'm happy with it. And I haven't attempted yet to do that on the horse. We could try it though. But first, let me go back to the masking. So what I'm going to do is I wanted to select the background, and we'll see how well it does with the dark on the other one. I actually think the old version, right before this, of the selecting the subject and the sky, I think it did a better job at selecting the subject. Um, that's just my opinion, and that could be just how it's working. So it's detecting. I hit select background, by the way. So we're going to let it go a little bit. And it did a pretty good job. There's a few places it kind of missed up here. I wouldn't worry about that too much. Maybe here we might want to go in and kind of clean it up. So what we can do now is we can create, or sorry, not create a new one, but we might want to subtract this mask because we want to take away. So we're going to subtract the mask here, and I'm going to use the brush. So we're going to use the brush here. Now, if anybody ever does the brush tool, there's a whole lot of options you can get. And this has been around for a long time, but just in case you don't know, is you can go for custom, and you can go, you can do a whole lot of different things with the brush. Dehaze, saturate, you know, do some dodge and burning. So you could do a whole lot of stuff in Lightroom without even having to go into Photoshop. All right, so we're going to subtract a little bit from this mask just using the normal brush. And you can see here, this is the mount. So I'm going to just brush over this right here, and it disappeared. I'm going to Control Z. Now, if I had my brush right here, if I had the density and all that not as strong, it may not get it all in the first brush. So always make sure that if you don't have that set right, that you go back and get it how you want it. The flow is down. So I'm gonna go like that. So now I'm gonna zoom in a little bit and just kind of go around the edges really quick. To see if it missed anything major. One thing I notice it misses a lot of times. I'm gonna click this overlay. If you can see over here, you can show the overlay to make sure we're not missing like the eye or anything. It's so black, I wouldn't worry about it. If I wanted to go back and get the details of the hair, I could probably go a low density and a small brush. And we're still subtracting. So I might, kind of go in and just kind of get that a little bit. All right. And then we're going to go up here. You can see right here, it missed. I don't want a low density this time. Brush to get that softer edge. All right, and you can really, but you kind of get the idea. I'm not going to spend a whole lot of time on this because I always find it very boring when somebody does a full edit. When we can just go on to something else really quick. But I do want to kind of show you like a few things here. That one right here, I probably would be taking off this fuzz anyways. So I might go ahead and do a different brush and come back. I always like to do one brush at a time and then come back and do it. So I'm going to come back here, and now I want to add to it because we're wanting to add some more of the masking. And I probably don't want the brush. and obviously a bigger brush. And then I'm kind of take that down to the hairline a little bit. And I might clean it up a little bit in Photoshop. There's nothing wrong with, you know, coming back and doing stuff in Photoshop. But if you can get as much stuff done in Lightroom, why not? Right? So, okay. So now that my background is selected, we're going to go back to the background, and we're going to bump up that exposure. All right. It did a pretty good job there, right there. So if it's missing something, say there's something bright out here that it missed, all you have to do is, like, here's the amount. You can bring the amount all the way up and see it even gets darker. So there's that there. So that's what I really, really like about kind of the new Lightroom one. Let's find one that has a person on here. Okay. And so what I'm going to do here, you can already see that I did something with her. So let's see if I can do something else. I think I've done several of them. Yeah, I already did, because a lot of times with I didn't do anything really with when somebody wears a light color shirt like she did. If you can see right here, it's working on detecting people, because I do have the mask open still time, but you know how it is with a dark horse and somebody's wearing a white, well, she's kind of a mint green, but it was almost white shirt. How it goes and everything. You can see it selected the horse's nose, and that's okay, because I want to show you something here. What you can do with the people. I clicked on the person. So now if I say I just want to get her body skin, it's only going to pick her body skin. If I want to do the face skin, it can do the face skin. So you really, really can pinpoint what it was. It might have a hard time with the hair because there's a horse with the hair, but actually it did a really good job. You can do the lips, you can do the eyes. You know, it's really kind of the sclera of the eyes, eyebrows. I mean, it's selecting all these, and I'm really impressed with that. And you can create separate mask with each one. So you know, because you might want to do the shirt, which is not selecting the shirt, but you would do the whole body, or you can do like the entire person here, and then we could just get rid of the nose by masking that out manually, how I showed you earlier. So that's kind of the fun stuff that we can do now with Lightroom and everything. So I suggest going out and playing around with it as much as you can. It's pretty impressive how well it works, and I think it learns from you. I really think it is a little bit of artificial intelligence, and I think it kind of learns your habits a little bit from you. Because the first few times I used this, it was horrible. I mean, it wasn't selecting things like I thought. Either they did updates and I don't know about it, but I think it kind of teaches you a little bit on working with that. But that's kind of a quick little update that I did for this. You know, feel free to post some questions, and I would love if you did more, if you've done anything using this method and not even going into Photoshop. I would love to see it and share, and have you share with everybody. Or if you did some a little bit with this and then some with Photoshop, I would love to have you do that too. But let's go ahead. I want to do let's do her face skin, and we can go ahead and create that. Let's do both. We're going to do the body skin and the face skin, and create that mask. And then if I wanted to lighten it, maybe a little bit up. I prefer to lighten shadows actually than the whole thing. And if you do ever lighten the shadow, that's way too much, but I'm just kind of being exaggerated for you. You can darken it up or lighten it up just so she kind of brightens up, because I really don't want to brighten that shirt anymore because we'll lose everything from it. But yeah, so you can kind of see how we did. I'm just going to go real quick and just to see how it affect the background on this one. This one's a little bit not as contrasty. being a black horse. Of course, we all want to do gray horses and white horses. Yeah, see, it didn't do a very good job on that one. So there are some that are easier to do in Photoshop, but there are some that are easier to do here. So it's your personal preference. I had a feeling that one was going to be a little bit harder just because, we have something bright in there. It's throwing it off. And of course, this one actually, if I remember correctly, it didn't do a very good job, but it's going to try to select, the person is going to be left in holding it. So I might want to go in and clone that out a little bit ahead of time, but right now I'm just going to kind of show you a little, actually it kept the person, but right here kind of threw it out. So I think if I was to clone this out ahead of time, it would have done a good job. Doesn't this horse look really good for 28 years old or 26 years old? I can't remember. But he used to be a stallion. That's his stallion number, and he rubs his mane out, as you can see. So I'll probably have a fun chop. She's probably going to ask me to pop that back in, or she wants his little number in there. So we'll see. But anyways, that is all. And please post some pictures. I'd love to see some stuff that you've done and share with everybody on how you did it and everything. And I guess that's all for now. And we will see you on Facebook some more. Thank you.